This is my sister, Lavinia.
But everyone calls me Vinny.
And this is my other sister, Emily.
And everyone calls me Napoleon. You come back married and a lawyer. Harvard has clearly agreed with you, Austin.
Even more agreeable is that we now shall be neighbors. Susan and I are moving into the Evergreens next door.
Another thunderbolt.
What a most welcome one.
Austin and I are to practice law together.
Shingle has never sounded so lovely. Is there no end to these wonders?
I welcome you both, my son and his lovely bride.
His very lovely bride. What does it feel like to be a father, Austin?
Fatherly.
May I hold him?
We're calling him Edward.
Ned, for short.
I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a fraud. To tell one's name the livelong day to an admiring bog.
Father? What is it?
Fort Sumter has been fired upon.
What does this mean?
It is thought that the South will secede from the Union.
Then it means civil war.
Does this mean you will be drafted, Austin?
Almost certainly.
You will remain here.
But Father, my friends will fight. I cannot stay at home.
I will pay the $500 bond so that a substitute may fight in your place.
What about my honor, sir?
Your honor, sir, will be safe in my hands.
And my conscience, Father? What of that?
It will be best if your conscience found solace in you doing your filial duty.
For those who will die in this civil war, filial duty will seem like cowardice.
No young man of breeding would make such a remark.
No gentleman would provoke it.
Austin, you are my only son. I cannot see your life put at risk.
Please, Father, don't make me stay.
You are not to go! I forbid it!
I will remain here. We went to Gettysburg. To hear the speeches? Mr. Edward Everett spoke for nearly 2 hours.
Very rousing.
And the president's speech?
Mr. Lincoln was shocking in his brevity. He spoke for about 3 minutes. Not memorable.
Were there many there to hear the orations? Some said 15,000.
Most of them looking for breakfast or trying to find souvenirs of the battle. Macabre.
For writing. Between 3 a.m. and morning. My father allows it. No husband would.
I came over. I thought something was amiss.
No. It is the best time. When it feels as if the whole world is asleep and still. Why did you take so long to consent to marry Austin?
truth. The thought of men in that particular respect turned me to stone. Although Austin is very tender and yielding to my reservations.
Is that particular part of married life so terrible?
I do my duty. But I have not only gained a husband, but 2 sisters also.
Yes. We will be sisters.
And we shall share and read everything.
The Brontes, George Eliot, and heaven save us, Mrs. Gaskell also.
And you have your poetry.
But you have a life. I have a routine. It is God's one concession to a no-hoper.
Does nothing give you solace?
For those of us who live minor lives and are deprived of a particular kind of love, we know best how to starve. We deceive ourselves and then others. It is the worst kind of lie.
But in matters of the soul, you are rigorous.
Rigor is no substitute for happiness.
We've come to say goodnight, Mother.
Your wife plays beautifully, Mr. Todd.
My wife does everything beautifully. And with her whole being.
They say every man that meets her falls in love with her. No, she says that.
What does it say?
Why should we write? There is another kind of writing, only too common, appealing to the sympathies of the reader without recommending itself to its subject. It may be called the literature of misery. The writers are chiefly women. Gifted women may be, full of thought and feeling and fancy, but poor, lonely, and unhappy. Also, such suffering is so seldom healthful. It may be a valuable discipline in the end, but for the time being it too often clouds, withers, distorts. It is so difficult to see objects distinctly through a mist of tears. The sketch or poem is...
That was cruel.
Life is cruel.
And cruelty knows no morality.
Is there nothing we could do, Doctor?
Hold her down. I'll give her some more chloroform.
Emily. Emily.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove. He knew no haste. And I had put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of grazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet, only tulle.